Hi you guys, it's Belle Beauty here and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'll be showing you guys my updated brow routine. Starting with this Morphe Brushes M158 brush. It's angled and it has a spoolie at the other end. I picked this up when I was in California. I picked up quite a few. So I'm just brushing out my brow hairs. As you can see, I don't really have much up there, and I also do my own brows at home and I nair them because tweezing is just too painful, and I like the results of when I nair better. So I'm just brushing those out into place, even though it's only like 10 of them. And then I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. And it is in the color dark brown. I love this stuff. I actually usually use ebony, but they didn't have it in stock when I went in the store that day. So I've just been working with this one, and I'm going to show you guys the step I do, or the product I use to get them darker. That's also really cheap, 99 cents. So I'm just taking that angle brush. I have coated it evenly on both sides, and I start in the middle of my brow right before the arch, and I just start to begin creating the arch in the tail. I feel like the arch is what makes the brows, and the tail should be really, really sharp to me. And the closer I get towards the center of my face, the shorter my strokes are. But I'm just being very careful. Usually I do this in a mirror standing up. I don't know why that helps me so much, but I stand up in the mirror and I do both of my brows because I guess I can see them both at the same time, which helps me out. So I'm just taking my time. Brows take time, as you guys can see if you watched my first brow routine. They were a mess last year, but I just kept doing it and kept going for the brows I wanted to achieve. And I'm pretty satisfied with how my brows look for right now. And as I said, as I get closer inwards, I make shorter hair-like strokes, and I'm just showing you like a brow stencil, like what would you see on a brow stencil. On the beginning of your brow should begin where your nose is, and then your arch should be your brow bone, and then the end should be angled with the corner of your eye. So I'm just taking my time, looking in the mirror, making sure I get it right, because I'm always nervous when I think about recording a brow routine video, because it's hard to do brows on camera. And but I actually found that it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So here you can see me. I'm going to go back and forth between the spoolie and the angle brush shot side with the product on it, just to make sure the hairs aren't falling towards my skin where the brow bone is, where I put my eyeshadow. And again, light hair strokes towards the front. And next up, I'm going to be using Wet n Wild dark brown eyebrow pencil. Because this isn't dark enough to me, it's just too light for my complexion and my hair. As you guys can see, I pretty much have black hair, and it's almost gone. But I really like this pencil because it has a lot of wax in it, and it makes my hairs lay into place after I spoolie them in the direction that I want them to go in. And it also just gives me that dark look that I like, and it also makes it look a lot cleaner when I go in to clean up with my concealer and my foundation. So here I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade Coconut. This is the matte and poreless formula, which I really, really love at the moment. It's my favorite drugstore foundation. And my MAC Cosmetics 242 brush. It's a concealer brush. And I really like how small this one is, and I like how flexible the hairs are. They aren't too hard and they aren't too soft. And the angle of the brush gives me a lot of control. So if you're looking for a brush that will give you the control with nice hairs for this, this is a really great brush. You know, MAC brushes can be expensive, but I haven't found a brush with this type of angle that I really like with the brush hairs that I like. So here you just see me cleaning up my brows first with my foundation. And the reason why I do this is to avoid the halo effect that I get. I do use concealer on the bottom, but for the just before I use concealer, I like to use my foundation. And you'll also see me in a second clean up the top of my brows with this. That's the key. A lot of people have caught on to it, but using your foundation on the top instead of the concealer makes a huge difference, because I don't like the way it looks, and with no matter how close you try to get to your brow with the concealer, with cleaning it up and blending it out, sometimes you just don't get close enough and you can still see a really thin ring around your brows, which just doesn't look good to me. So use your foundation to clean up the top of your brows at least, so you look more natural up top, especially if your brows are fuller and you're just filling them in for more thickness and depth. Sorry, that was my phone. So next I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro concealer in the color Fawn. And this is about a shade and a half to 2 shades lighter than me. I would say a shade and a half. And I'm going to clean up the bottom of my brows using that same brush with the leftover foundation as well. I just squeeze it on the back of my hand, just a small amount. And I start from the middle, and it just gives me more crispness. Is that a word? Crispness, I guess. It just makes my brows look more crisp, I believe, and more defined, and they stand out a little bit more. And it also gives me a brow bone highlight without me having to put color up there when I'm doing eyeshadow or a full look, because I don't know, I just don't prefer to put any beige or white shadow up there on myself, preferably, because it just doesn't look as good on me to me, in my opinion. Preferably, I meant to say. And I just take whatever the leftover product I have on the brush and go towards the front of my brows for more definition, for just the crisp, clean look, as I just said. And then just blend out that concealer with your finger. It works better for me when I use my finger because the body heat and the texture is a lot better for the cleanup. And then I realized that my tail wasn't long enough to my liking, so I just went in and extended it a little bit more. But always remember, ladies, that your brows are sisters, not twins. So they're not always going to be symmetrical. You can just do the best job you can to make them look like. Today, that one was popping and the other one, it just wasn't to me. But I hope you guys learned something from this video. I know there's thousands of brow videos out there, but this is just how I prefer my brows to look if they were having a better brow day. And sometimes I even like them to be a little bit thinner. But don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.